Hey guys, what's up? It's Rob. It's Monday. Time to make my vlog, my weekly vlog. Anyway, I'm just going to jump right into it. So, wanted to fill you guys in on all the good stuff that's happened since last week, since I made one of these. Let me just the camera here a little bit. Anyway, I just came off of a leadership retreat. CityFam had a big retreat this weekend in Oak Hill, Camp Oak Hill, which was in like Nottingham, Pennsylvania. And it's something that we're starting to do for the leaders, the people that are volunteering their time in the organization. We had our very first one back in January of this year, and then this was our second one, and had about 15 people that are on committees in the organization come out and just had a blast together. Really good time. We did karaoke, we did games, we had a lot of food, we went swimming, we had a campfire, and we told ghost stories. So it was a really fun time. It was really cool to just chill with everybody. A lot of these people work very hard for the organization. They volunteer their time by being on a committee. They work Orioles games or Ravens games so that we can get a percentage to kind of put some gas in the tank. And it was really cool just to spend time with them and just chill, and sleep in and break bread and all that. So we even had a girl come from Boston, Massachusetts, that we had never met. She had actually found us online, and she flew in, and we picked her up at the airport, and she hung out with us all weekend. Her name is Joanne. I hope she doesn't mind me mentioning it, but it was really cool to have somebody recognize, wow, this is different. Like, this is a unique culture, and she was attracted to it, and she bought a plane ticket last minute, and she flew into BWI. We picked her up, and she hung out with us all weekend, and she loved it. She was really inspired, and she's like, she goes, I didn't even know this existed, she said, and that was the last day, and she's like, it's like something that you experience and you don't even know what you're missing until you see it, until you feel it. And honestly, I've been saying that for a long time about CityFam, and it really is like that. It's like a feeling. It's like, I try my best to describe it, but it's this feeling. And she came and she felt it, and she's really excited to go back to Boston and get it started there. So I'm pumped about that. This was always kind of the dream. So, and one of the things she said too, she's like, this would fix so many of the problems in society. She's like drug addiction and depression and, suicide and these different things, because really we're meant to live in community. We're meant to live in close relationship with people, and it does solve a lot of the issues. The problem is like, it's hard to, if you haven't seen that modeled or no one's ever taught you what that looks like, then it's just like she said, you just don't know what you're missing until you do it. And the thing is we live in these bodies where we're so, physically charged up. Like, that's definitely something that breaks community, is like sexual, sin breaks community, but also just like our selfishness, because we'll do things that are good for us and not good for other people, and then it breaks relationships, and then we suffer in the long run because of it. So it was really cool to have her there, and just like I said, to get around all the other leaders and spend some time with them. But yeah, we're gonna be doing some stuff in Boston here soon, which is very cool. So to fill you guys in, I talked a little bit about this last week, but I have a YouTube video that's really starting to get traction. It's got like over 250,000 views right now, and to my personal email, but a lot of emails about CityFam from all over the world. We literally got emails from all over the United States: Houston, Long Beach, Arizona, Youngstown, Ohio, Hanover, Pennsylvania, all these different places, all these different cities, like Indianapolis, 8 different cities across the United States, maybe 9, and then Jakarta, Indonesia, South Africa, all these different places that people were like, they saw the video and they're like, wow, this city, I checked out CityFam, and we need this where I live. How do I start one? So we're in the process of getting all that worked out, and it's really exciting, because again, that was the dream, that was the vision that I've talked about for a long time, that God gave me, 16 years ago, where He told me about about home, and he told me that there were going to be people coming from all over the world to see this place. I was going to be doing something really outside the box. And now here we are. You know, CityFam did not exist back then, so I didn't really understand what it all meant. But, you know, we're doing something outside the box, something very different, and people are now starting to reach out from all over the world. And one of them just came into town this weekend. So we're working toward that, you know, every day, and we're really excited, obviously. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what we're doing with that information. So like now that we're getting people reach out, we're trying to figure out, okay, how do we get them started, right? How do we set them up for success to start a CityFam where they're at? And what we did is we developed a small group curriculum, and I think I talked a little bit about this last week, but we developed a small group curriculum based on why waiting works. And now if that doesn't fit their group, like maybe they're couples or something, they don't have to do that curriculum. They can do whatever they want. But if they are singles, which really I think, you know, CityFam really fills a big void there, because when you're single, and especially if you're trying to wait for the right person, you know, like then you kind of need a group of people, because you get really lonely. When you have somebody, you don't need it as much, because you always got somebody to chill with. You got somebody to go to dinner with. You got somebody to go to the movies with. So I'm not saying that CityFam isn't for couples. I do believe it is, but it fills a bigger void for singles, because you can get really lonely trying to do this shit on your own. So so we have this curriculum for Why Waiting Works, and we're offering it free of charge to anybody that wants to start. So really excited about that. We're encouraging people to meet on a Friday or Saturday night, and they can, you know, it's an 8-week study, and then 2 of the weeks, on week 6 and week 8. Week 6 they do a social event, and week 8 they do a service event. So they actually go volunteer somewhere together. And if they get through that part, then we'll advance them to the next phase. But we want to kind of test people out, make sure they're serious before we invest a whole lot of time in them. So we're going to give them the curriculum, let them get through an 8-week study, and then if they do get through those 8 weeks, then they get to advance to the next phase, which they'll attend a Path to Purpose, and they'll do, you know, they'll watch some videos and teach them more a little bit about what we're doing, what CityFam is all about. So that's the whole, you know, program that we've came up with. So right now we have Why Waiting Works small groups that are going to start in September in Baltimore, Harford County, maybe 2 in Baltimore, Harford County, Anne Arundel County, and Hanover, Pennsylvania, and Boston. So there's going to be at least 5 starting in September. Now, there may be more. Those are the ones that are confirmed. So if you're watching this and you're like, hey, look, you know, I'm interested. I'd like to be in a group. I'd like to host a group where I'm at. Maybe you're not close to any of those places. DM me. Send me a message, and I'll tell you how to get involved. I'm actually going to do a Facebook Live next Wednesday where I'm going to teach people, like, hey, this is what we're doing. This is how to get started. It's super easy. You meet at your house on a Friday, every week on a Friday or a Saturday night. You talk about the book. Hey, listen, let me add this. If you're not down with this whole waiting thing, if you don't agree with it, listen, I still want you to come. I'll tell you why. Because I want you to disagree. It's okay. I didn't see value in this for most of my life. So come to a group and just disagree and say, I think this is bullshit. You know what I mean? Whatever, I don't care. There's a guy that's on leadership on CityFam, and he's like, listen, I don't subscribe to this. And I'm like, okay, I still want you to come. I want your perspective. Doesn't mean you have to agree with everything I say. CityFam isn't the abstinent group. You know, just like I said before, it's not the sober group. But what I believe is people are going to come and they're going to experience genuine community. They're going to get into relationships, platonic relationships with members of the opposite sex, and they're going to be like, wow, this is different. You know, this feels pretty good. I like this, you know. And I know that's what it did for me. Now, listen, they might not. After 8 weeks, they might say, you know, I didn't like it at all. That's okay. Well, you know, I can't, you know, I don't think we're going to please everyone. But regardless, why I say all that is that small groups are going to start in September. We're going to have them at various locations in around the Baltimore area, Baltimore, Harford County, Anne Arundel County, Hanover, Pennsylvania, and Boston right now. But if you're somewhere close to those places and you're like, look, I'd like to attend a group, come. You know, I'll invite you. I'll tell you the address, and we'll get you in a group. If you're not in one of those locations and you're like, look, I'd like to host one, then host one. But what it's going to do for you is it's going to give you it's going to give you something every Friday or Saturday, depending on what night you host it on, to do every week. We're suggesting people bring food, so you'll have some friends, you'll have, you'll eat, you'll talk for an hour about, the 2 chapters that you read. You'll ask a couple questions, and then maybe afterward, you guys hang out and you watch a movie, or you throw some food on the grill, or you go out and do something. I don't know. But then on week 6, you do a social event, so anything that you find fun, and week 8, you do a service event. And really, by the end of those 8 weeks, you basically got a City Fam. You got basically how we started this thing, which was just a group of guys and girls getting together, being intentional about their friendships, and trying to do some good in the community. So anyway, talked enough about that. DM me if you want more info. So the book goes on sale on August 6th on Amazon. Super pumped about that. Probably got I think I sold 65 copies so far, and I got about 160 ARCs out, advanced readers copies, into hands of friends that wanted to read it in exchange for an Amazon review. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I was able to sell the first 52 copies I got, and now I have 250 more on the way that the publisher is so graciously giving to me on credit. So I'm hoping to sell those. But I wanted to add something that, like, I don't know what the plan is with the book. I mean, I originally wrote it because I wanted it to open doors for City Fam, which it already has started to. But, of course now I want to sell books because it turned out good. It turned out really good, and it's an important message. And I just can't help but think, like I didn't write this story, right? Like, it wasn't my idea. None of this was my idea. For anyone watching this, it was not my idea to be abstinent. I would still be the scumbag that I was before, probably going to the bars and the clubs, sleeping around. I'd still be that guy if it wasn't for God, because this was not my idea. I did not make a decision one day and say, hey, I want to be abstinent, or even really that, hey, I want to follow God. Like, this was his idea. So, I mean, he called me, and he told me things in a specific order to get me to this point. Now, I did cooperate with him. I'll say that. I cooperated as much as I could. But he made it very difficult for me not to cooperate, like the way he told me certain things. So my guess is, if he wrote the story, which he did, that he wants to tell the story. And I'm guessing that the book is going to sell at some point. That, I don't know how, because I don't know anything about book promotion. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to get the message out there. But, the average book only sells about 250 copies. And then I think maybe even less than that, but it's somewhere in that range. So I don't know, but my thought is, if God wrote this story, which he did, you have to take my word for that he wrote the story, that he wants to tell it, and then this book is going to sell. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. That's just a feeling that I have. I'm suspicious that it's going to take off one day, because, why else would he have written this if he didn't want to tell it? So anyway, that's my thought. If anybody wants to order it, you can go to whywaitingworks.com. There's an ebook version that's going to be on sale soon. Is there an audio version? Not yet, but I want to do one. It just costs money to do that, or it takes time, and I'm kind of limited on both. So I will have an audio version at some point. So wanted to tell you guys about Home. Unfortunately, I still don't have any answers. I really have no answers for anyone that's watching. I know that we have members that are paying monthly, and part of the monthly benefits are discounts at Home, and I don't have any answers, and I'm talk to God every day about it, and I don't know what to tell people except for I'm waiting for a miracle. I suspect that something is going to happen soon, but I can't prove it. And I'm just kind of waiting to see. Like, I've taken some steps. I created a business plan. I sent it out to people. I didn't get a whole lot of bites. Then I heard that the building last week, I contacted a different owner, and he acted like the building wasn't for sale anymore, is what he told me. He said, the building's not for sale anymore. And I said, well, it was on sale for $3.15 million. That's public knowledge. And he said, oh, well, we took it down. So then I set up a meeting with him last Wednesday, and I was going to meet with him to see if I could negotiate lower terms of a lease, and he stood me up. That was on Wednesday. So that's where we're at. And since then, I've texted him a couple times and he hasn't returned my call. So I'm letting everybody know what's going on. I don't have any answers. I'm sorry if anybody out there watching is a member. I know that I'm getting close to the point where I'm going to have to make a decision with the memberships, either, refund people if they want their money back, or change the membership levels to the point where it's only CityFam benefits, but it hasn't been a month yet. So I feel like I just want to wait a little bit longer and see if God moves. I go back to the, and you guys probably heard me say it a few times, where the vision was I was going to be in that specific building and people were going to come from all over the world to see this outside the box thing that I was doing or, part of. And now I'm getting messages from people all over the world. Some of them are now starting to come to Baltimore to see this outside the box thing, the CityFam. And the building is for sale, right? Excuse me. The building's for sale. So that can't be a coincidence. I just don't see how that's possible. So I'm waiting to see what happens. Excuse me. It's something in my throat. So I'm waiting to see what happens. Yeah, that's all I got. I'm sorry, guys. I feel irresponsible telling you that, but I can't make it happen faster. If I could, I would, but I can't. I can't make the answer come any faster, and this is just where we're at. So as soon as I know something, you'll know something. If we decide to, if the building sells, I can't even say that we'll decide to let it go, because I'll never let it go. But if the building sells, or we were to look at another location, or we change the membership levels at some point, we say, well, we can't wait any longer, we have to make some changes here, I'll let you guys know first. But this is where we're at right now. CityFam, right now, just to fill everybody in, working really hard, developing all of our standard operating procedures, our job descriptions, our mission statement. We're just trying to make sure we have something very duplicatable, so that when these other cities contact us, which they're starting to do, that we have something that we can give them. So once they get to the end of the 8 weeks, which is going to be around the end of October, beginning of November, some of those people are going to successfully advance to the next phase, and then we will give them, we're going to put them through they're going to take an application, they're going to have to do an interview, they're going to have to watch some videos, and then if, assuming that they pass everything, then they'll basically be a CityFam chapter. Whether that's a franchise, or is it nonprofit, like under our corporate umbrella, I don't know yet. We have to figure all that out, but that's the process that we're working on. And I wanted to let you guys know about a couple of events that are coming up. Namely, this Friday we're at Sandlot. This was our biggest Renegade of the year last year. And then on August 18th, we have a service project where we're volunteering with Movable Feast and Be More Caring. So Movable Feast is a great organization. We'll be making meals for people that are living below the poverty line with AIDS and other life-threatening diseases. And then at Be More Caring, we'll be feeding the homeless over in Anne Arundel County at Herondale Mall. So if you'd like to sign up for either of those, if you want to give back with some good people, we're doing that. We'll have an after party somewhere in the area. We're hoping to go to this place with a pool, where that Saturday the 18th we'll have a big pool party for all the volunteers after. That's what we're hoping to do. So the Be More Caring event is good for ages 5 and above. So if you're watching this and you got kids, feel free to bring them out and join us. Again, that's Saturday, August 18th, and this Friday, the 3rd, I think it is, we'll be at Sandlot from 8 to 11, and it's just a social event, really. We take a portion of the money, we give it to a local nonprofit, and then we go out and volunteer for them. But it's fun, we have a good time, and I just really want to give a shout out to our volunteers, because last week we got an email back from Baltimore City Public Health Department, and they had encouraged us to apply for a $10,000 grant, and we did, and they denied us. So I just want to give a shout out to the volunteers, because we continue to find a way to move this vision forward, even with no help from the outside. So I thank you guys so much for helping out. We could not do this without you. Specifically, I want to give a shout out to 3 people. Hannah, Hannah Long, you're amazing. You're one of our best leaders, one of our best volunteers, always a great attitude. I appreciate you so much. Donna Harriman, you are such a beautiful person. You're so giving, and you're just solid, and thank you so much. And Corliss Janice, or is it Corliss? Is it, yeah, Janice. So that, hopefully I pronounced that right. But anyway, Corliss, it looks like you're watching. Thank you so much. You are incredible, and if everyone that came in the organization was like you, we could change the world. So I appreciate all that you bring to the table, and I thank you so much. So anyway, that's it. That's all that's happening in our world. We're grinding, and I'll keep you guys posted about all the developments. Talk to you later. See you.